have committed one of the 7 deadly expat sins. I bought a house. The minute you buy a house and then tell people on YouTube, you will have loads and loads of comments from people saying, you are a simp. Whatever one of those is. You're an idiot for buying a house because you can never own it. You can never own the land. And before you know it, the extended family will have moved into the house. You will have been kicked out onto the street and you'll be living under a bridge in a cardboard box, wondering just how you became broke. In this video, I'm going to tell you why buying a house was right for me. I bought my house about 4 months shy of 15 years ago. That's quite a while ago now. And so far, in its entirety, I've spent approximately 1.5 million baht. I put the price in British and American underneath. Now, it doesn't sound that much, but for me, it was quite a lot. But I think what myself and Bo have ended up with is really, really good. Now, initially, we only paid 850 baht for the house. Now, that might seem super duper cheap, and take into consideration 15 years ago, it was even cheaper because the price of the pound against the baht was much, much, much stronger. We actually bought it second-hand. It was originally part of a 4-bedroom house that was then chopped in half, and this was 2-bedroom, but this side, the side we're on, was actually empty for about 17, 18 years and owned by the bank. They wanted 1.2 million for it, but we put an offer in of 850,000 baht, and it was accepted. So we were happy with that. We had to pay another 50,000 baht for the transfer of everything into Bo's name. So far we spent 900,000 baht. But as I said, we bought it second hand and it had not been touched for years. And coming through the back door was a tree, quite a small tree, but a tree nonetheless. There'd been termites in the door frames and the old door frames that we had. And the water ingress in the living room and upstairs. We had original parquet flooring upstairs, but all that's gone now. And there was a big hole in the roof and this, that and the other. There was a lot needed doing. We ended up spending a further 200,000 baht through a friend who had a contract to a team of builders, and he was like the contractor. He came to see us and he managed to do it all for about 200,000 baht more. In other words, get it habitable. So far, we'd spent 1.1 million baht. Absolutely fantastic. And then we lived here for about 10 years, something like that. And a little bit of money, sadly, came through from my uncle, who he passed away. He actually had multiple sclerosis, but he was like such a trooper. He was, to be honest, he was a real piss taker. He was really funny. But he worked all his life. He adored cricket, adored rugby. He loved his pints, but because of his illness, he never actually got married. He never had kids. And then when he passed away, the house, all his brothers and sisters had died, I think. So he decided to leave the house to be sold and then split accordingly amongst his 7. Don't quote me on that. I think 7 nieces and nephews, one being me. And we got, it wasn't a lot, it wasn't loads, but it was a nice little chunk. So I decided, instead of just investing it or just chucking it in the bank and leaving it, I was going to get the kitchen done, hence this. And this was about 3 years ago we came up with this idea, and we extended it at the back to the neighbour's wall. Now, again, I'll talk to you about that in another video, it's too long otherwise. And so we made the kitchen much bigger. If you can actually see that wall there, this pillar, that was the end of the house. before. Beyond that was the back garden. It was only about 1.5 meters, and it was a pain in the ass. You open the fridge door, it's almost touching the back door. So we gave up on that idea, and we just thought, let's get it all done. And we did. We paid a company to do it. Again, I'll talk to you about that in detail in the future. But I just wanted to make it nice because we both like cooking. We both love sitting in the kitchen. You can actually turn all the lights out and just have this one here. It's like a soft colour. We can eat, we can watch TV. It's just another room. We can even put aircon on, and it's great. But all in all, including the bathroom, getting the bit done outside, the doors, not including the aircon, that was separate. Not including the fridge, we just bought that one already, the one blown up. And I don't think it included the washing machine, I can't remember. But it included everything else. And that was around 400,000 baht, but that included doing the extension and a lot of work. It was such a bind, and it took about 4 months, something 5 months maybe. It actually took longer to do this kitchen and the extension and the bathroom than it did to make the house habitable in the first place. So there you go. So all in all, we spent 1.5 million baht. 1.5 million baht, don't forget that. As I mentioned, I spent 1.5 million baht on the house so far. How much that is in pounds and dollars, it actually doesn't matter because I live here, okay? So before I had this house, in the last place I lived in a very, 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 very small, more like a borrower's house. It was a tiny little bungalow. And it was 7,000 baht a month, and that wasn't even furnished, okay? So if we take that at 7,000 baht a month rent, that would be, hang on, so 7,000, I'm rubbish at maths, so I'm using my laptop, that's why I'm doing it, times 12. So there you go, we've got 84,000 baht a year, okay? 84,000 baht a year. Now let's times that by 15 years. All right, it's 4 months shy, but let's make it easy. Times 15, that comes out at 1.26 million baht. Now, that's a little bit less than how much I've paid if I'd have rented this house for 15 years. It's 7,000 baht. But because of this kitchen, because it's fully furnished, I would confidently say this house is going to go for more like 10,000 baht a month. I've actually seen many, many houses like this that go for more like 10,000 baht. And if they're like this and further in town, closer in town, they go more like 15,000. But let's just say 10,000 baht a month. That's 100,000, Dennis. I'm rubbish at maths. So there you go, 10,000 baht times 12, even I know the answer to that bit, is obviously 120,000 baht per year. So let's times that now by 15 years. That comes out at 1.8 million baht. Now I know that we did this ourselves and it's all come out of my money, and it was actually doing this kitchen, doing other bits because I had to be right on top of them. It's a little bit stressful. Probably why I've gone grey. But it was well worth it. And going back to 15 years ago when I actually put an offer in on this house, one of my mates said, "You're not a bit silly? What are you going to be doing in 10 years? Well, I didn't know, but I always thought that at the time it was about, that was about 20,000 baht, give or take. That's how much it cost to buy this house, £20,000 at that time, obviously with the change in rates. And I always thought to myself, well, if I lose it, I lose it. It's not going to affect me that much. And it wouldn't have done. I would have walked away and either gone somewhere else in Thailand or gone to another country or even potentially gone back home at that time. But I was in my early 30s. I was just about to get married and everything was fantastic. So I didn't even think about it that much. 15 years later, now, I would, if I'd have been here for 15 years and renting at 10,000 baht a month, I would have spent 1.8 million baht on it, but it's cost me 1.5. So in a way, I've saved 300,000 baht so far. And every single month I'm here now, for the rest of my life, it's free. Everything is free. But it's not only that. It's not Just that. That's a massive part of it. That was one of the main reasons why I did it. The other reason was simple. If I die tomorrow, or before I finish this video, I know Bo has a house, she's got a roof over her head, so have the cats, everything is taken care of. Or if she decides she wants to move, I know some of these houses now are going for more like, I don't know, they're going for a lot more, quite considerably more than what we paid. Even when we first had the house done, one of the builders that came around at the end was going, you'll get 2 million for this. And that was going back 15 years. I'm not saying it's gone up loads. I never ever bought this house as an investment, never ever. But in a kind of roundabout way, that's exactly what I got, an investment, because I don't pay rent, I don't have a mortgage. And how many people from the West can say that? Not many, you know? So, is it worth buying a house? For me, it really, really, really worked out. Should you buy a house in Thailand? Well, it all comes down to your own personal circumstances. My only advice would be, if you can afford to walk away from any money you have invested in a property or even in a car or whatever, if you can walk away and close that chapter and it's done and you can still be okay, then go for it. If you're looking at getting mortgages, if you're looking at finding ways of doing things, you might try and sell this and do that or not have that to do that, to buy a house, don't do it. Renting in Thailand is still relatively cheap. It's actually very cheap compared to anywhere else or many places. It's great. And if you get bored, you can always move around. And I would suggest that if you're going to build a house even or buy a house, don't just go somewhere and buy it. Don't just go somewhere and build it. Do your research first on the area. Make sure you want to live there first. So that's it. Hopefully if anyone's thinking about a house, this has helped you in some way. But as I say, don't forget to look at second-hand houses. You can pick some up really, really cheap. Go to your local bank. Most banks will have a property portfolio. Go and look at that. Find out what you've got, like I did. And whatever they've got, I guarantee you, they all take offers. Get in there, stick a cheeky offer in, and you'll well be okay. That's about do for today, guys. Take care, and I'll see you later. Ow, bye-bye. Oh, caught my hand then, that actually hurt. Bye-bye.